Interesting. So, I usually ask this later in the podcast, but do you have a book
I
or a pamphlet or a pamphlet?
I
A
so
guide,
a
a how-to
guide.
book?
I have been asked about writing a book many times. I have written a chapter for a collaborative book, but it is about living a sabbatical life. So 2 years ago, I took a month-long road trip sabbatical with my 19-year-old cat, and the chapter that I wrote for this collaborative book is about um, that experience, that adventure.
You mentioned that
And
your cat died,
she did.
but 19, that's a lot of years for
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. That was kind of our last hurrah was that road trip. And in during that time, that month-long sabbatical, I came up with this idea of living a sabbatical life so that you don't I mean, a lot of people don't have the liberty to take a month or a year off as
Right.
a sabbatical, and I get that. And at the same time, they can still live a sabbatical life, which means that you are giving yourself space to do things that light you up and bring you joy
I get it, yeah.
and allowing yourself the time to recharge. You know,
Right.
we consider ourselves machines, and even machines need downtime, or they need to reboot. They need to recharge. You know, this thing that we carry around all the time um, needs to be plugged in on the regular so that it can recharge the battery.
That's
You
right.
can't just drain it down to 0, throw it in the corner and go, well, it'll be good in the morning
I
without
heard
plugging it
something
in.
interesting from a sales coach. He said if you after he said if you don't recharge your phone all day, he said you should be recharging your phone twice a day. That's how many calls you should be making, or that's how long you
Hmm,
should be on it. Just a little
okay.
tidbit there. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, recharging is huge. The problem I have with that sometimes is if I don't feel like I've done a sufficient amount of work, accomplished what I was going to accomplish, then it's hard for me to say, okay, Steve, now you can recharge.
I get that because I have that same tendency. So, and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening who are also high achievers have that same tendency. And at the same time, not allowing yourself to recharge it makes you less efficient. So,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
That's how I reason it. I'm like going, look, buddy, you just need to go ahead and recharge for a little bit. You
Yeah.
need to just let it go. It'll come back. Just trust yourself.
Right. Right. When you take that time, you are you're giving yourself grace and you're allowing your brain to recharge. You're allowing your body to recharge. Um, During that time, I you could go for a walk. You could listen to music that energizes you. You could read a chapter in a book. There are so many different ways to recharge yourself and then come back refreshed. A lot of the time, people are so run down every day. They wake up tired. So, and they push themselves
I'm
through a
guilty of
day.
that sometimes.
Yeah. And go to sleep tired. Like they go to sleep and they never actually recharge. A lot of people don't sleep well to start with. And so they wake up and they're never refreshed. Their battery is never fully recharged.
Right. That's happened to me.
Yeah. And people go through life that way. And so these are why these strategies that I teach are so important.
So
So
what
for
strategy would you use to get somebody to, you know, get a
yeah.
better sleep?
So it starts with well, there are a bunch of things, but it starts with the night before. So the way your day goes tomorrow starts with how you end your day today.
Ah,
So if you're on your phone up until the minute you close your eyes, you are not setting yourself up for a good day. You are already going to sleep in at a deficit. You need time to give your body
Time to wind down.
Time to wind down, right. So, put the phone away. Some people recommend an hour before
That's
you're
what I
going to
do.
bed.
10 o'clock, because I go to bed at 11.
Yeah,
I can't go to bed before then.
yeah, right. So, putting the phone down and not looking at it for an hour and doing something else. Take a warm shower, read a book. Whatever it is, giving yourself time to wind down and fall asleep, uh, without having all of that your brain being supercharged up from looking at your phone.
So let's take a look at how this works in the workplace.
Yeah,
That's what people want to know.
right.
That's the title of the podcast, by the way.
Okay. So how it works in the workplace is I mean, it starts with each individual taking responsibility for managing their own energy.
What are some of the common issues in the workplace that you find when you've been coaching people?
Well, a lot of issues around engagement. People are not engaged in their work. Um, there are conflicts. They're not communicating well with their team members, and they're just they're stressed out. They're overwhelmed and overworked, and there's just constant stress.
So
And
what are we doing to fix that? What do
that
you
does not lead
people
to a productive workplace.
so
So,
what's your formula?
yeah, so one of them is doing the breathing exercises. One of the things that specifically in a workplace you could do is start a meeting with either taking a couple of deep breaths and having people just calm down so that they can set themselves into the moment. And another exercise that people can do is around gratitude. And it's starting a meeting by asking everyone, what's something good that's happening right now? What's something good in your life right now? Or what's something good about work right now? Or what's something that's good in this moment? And it gets people to focus off of their complaints and their criticisms
Right?
and come into a positive mindset, and then
Interesting.
start the meeting and see how it goes. It's gonna go a lot differently than if you didn't do that.
What about some type of visualization?
Sure. I mean, visualization is great. But when we're talking about workplace, um, it's a lot easier to get people to just do this one really quick thing that it doesn't take up a lot of time and doesn't you don't have to convince somebody that it's a thing to do. You're just asking a question.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. Improving productivity is not about time management. What is it about? I used to
It's
teach time management, which is,
okay.
yeah,
So it's useful to block on your calendar. For sure, it's useful. But you can block all the time you want. If your brain and your mind is distracted because you're still thinking about the argument you had with your partner last night, or you're thinking about the conversation that you need to have with your parents about, I don't know, taking away the car keys, like, you're not focused. So time is blocked in your calendar, but stuff is not getting done. You're not
right.
as if you're not plowing through that client proposal the way you would like because your mind is distracted. And so it comes back to clearing the distractions in your mind so that you can be more focused. And whether that is using a breathing technique or whether that is using some kind of meditative technique. And when we're talking about meditation, it's again, so many misconceptions around what meditation is, but it does not mean sitting on a mat cross-legged for
Right.
hours at a time in complete silence with no thoughts going through your head.
And that's the connotation they have
Yep.
in their mind.
Yep, exactly.
So what
And
about, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yes, that can be meditation, but it doesn't have to be the only way to meditate.
No, no. You know what I do is I'll sit on the couch. I turn my phone off at 10, like I said. I'll have the TV on, but the volume's totally off.
Mhm.
Sometimes television stresses me out. There are very
Absolutely.
few things on TV that I can relax with.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question. what do the highest performing business leaders do to sharpen their leadership skills and decision making abilities and creativity with all these things going on inside their
They practice meditation.
head?
No
Of
joke.
course.
No joke. And so when you talk about the highest performing business leaders, examples are Bill Ford, chairman of Ford Motor Company, Richard Branson, Virgin, Virgin everything. Uh,
Yeah, what does he do? So what do these guys do?
they practice meditation. And Ray Dalio, Ariana Huffington, a lot of sports, high performing sports um, athletes practice meditation. Ray Dalio he's like an OG on Wall Street. He's yeah, I
I
bring
heard
him
that
up.
name.
I bring him up because Wall Street is about as far from woo-woo as you can get. And in many interviews, Ray has talked about how important his meditation practice is and how much he attributes his success to it. Now, this does not mean that he sits on the couch meditating 20 hours a day and success just comes to him. That's of course not how it works.
Right, right.
It gives him peace of mind. It settles his mind. Meditation actually rewires your brain. Literally rewires your brain. So
Excuse
the way
me.
you think, the way you see the world, the way you solve problems, the way you create and innovate all becomes better when you practice meditation and the actions you're taking are less frantic and much more intentional.
So what about people that have a trouble meditating?
Mhm. It's a
Let's
matter of
say that.
finding a way that works for you. I'm kind of a gym rat. I love working out and
I
lifting
do
weights and
too.
being in the gym, but not everybody does. And so I've heard people say, "Well, I don't like working out." Really? Have you tried everything? Because maybe you would like running or swimming or biking or archery or
What
there's a
happened?
million
Wait,
different things. And it's the same with meditation. There are guided meditations, there are walking meditations, gardening could be considered meditative.
I know
Color
somebody that does that.
Yeah, coloring could be considered meditative. I think it's the Japanese have a term called nature bathing, and it's like when you're out walking in nature, and maybe through a
Oh,
or
that works for me too.
maybe it's called forest bathing or something like that. But walking, and again, you're not doing it with your phone in your hand, you know,
Right, right, right,
you're
right, right.
you're
No.
quieting your mind and you're letting thoughts come and go. It's not a matter of blocking them all out. It's a matter of letting them come and go without having to address them.
Without prejudice.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And but studies have shown that as few as 3 minutes a day of meditation can have significant benefits.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I
it's
like
not
the nature thing because that works for me.
Yeah, and again, it's a matter of finding what works for you, and this is what I do with my clients is help them figure out what could work for you. What else could you try and see if it works? And maybe you need to go through a bunch of things until you get to what works, but something is going to work.
So I'm going to tell you something that I heard on you can sometimes you can pick things off of TV and movies that you just I don't know how they get there, but some of them
Mhm.
are true and they're practical. So I was watching a Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Larry